Foregone is a new side-scrolling action RPG that may draw visual similarities to Dead Cells, but these are two very different games. For one, Foregone is not a roguelite, but rather focuses attention on fast action, loot, and other progression. The levels in Dead Cells have a random generation to them, and here the levels are handcrafted. Right from the start, I found myself enjoying what Foregone had to offer. You have a variety of moves to use in Foregone. You can evade attacks along with performing double jumps to get around. As you defeat bosses, you will earn more moves that will aid you in your traversal. For example, the first boss fight gives you a dash boost that you can use. When fighting enemies, you will have your melee weapon and your ranged weapon. The different melee weapons range in attack speed and different buffs that they provide you. Then you have your skills, and you have a few to try out and earn. You can use energy to heal yourself, do a hard-hitting charge, a room-clearing blast, and a buff that improves your attacks for a short period of time. The combat is fast and fluid and very fun. Slashing and shooting enemies feels good, and there's some nice impact here. Dead enemies will drop gold for you to upgrade your equipment and blue gems that act as your experience points, and you can use those to equip new buffs and improvements to your character. The loot acts like you would expect it to, with finding different rarities, and it keeps the progression very addictive within the game. The different levels will continually add new enemies for you to fight, so you will find yourself always assessing new threats. I found myself naturally grinding out areas to get more gold and experience to improve my character along with finding more loot. Most of my time with Foregone was really enjoyable, but I did encounter some flaws. On a few occasions, I noticed that it would be useful to be able to aim up at an enemy, but you can't control specifically where you want to aim. The aiming is more like aiming in the general direction. I would love for the game to give me a bit more control of my aiming. Sometimes when I was over a piece of equipment, it wouldn't show my stats that were present on it. I also had a bit of odd visual glitches and an instance where the sound got a bit weird and none of the impact sound effects would play. While these were noticeable, I was happy that the stability seemed to be really good with my 5 or so hours of playing the game, as the game never crashed on me. With Foregone having addictive progression and good gameplay, I hope that the full game adds in more endgame content, like being able to go back to older areas but now they're harder, or maybe going through a mirror world of the game, a boss rush mode, and maybe a survival mode, and some type of drop-in co-op. These are all just suggestions since I really enjoyed what was presented here. Lastly, the soundtrack is the best part about the presentation. Here are a few tracks from the game. Foregone is a pleasant experience. It has fluid combat along with addictive progression. I was enjoying my time with it, and it had a great flow, and I just wanted to keep proceeding. There's a good amount of content in its current state, but if you do not want to jump in now and wait for more content later on, then I would suggest that you just keep an eye out for this one. Thank you very much for watching.